a complaint of a gas furnace not heating, essentially. They left Friday, it was working, came back this morning, which is a Monday, and it's not. So, could be any number of things. We'll find out what's going on. It's looking like this is probably going to be a law office, so I'm not going to record any conversations, but talking to the client or customer is a good way to get some valuable information. They might not know the technical terms or be mechanically inclined, but they do live or work there, so they are familiar with what it is and is not doing as far as the end user, so it can point you much quicker to what you need to look at. But we'll get in here and see what's going on. So first off, I do not smell any gas, so that is a good sign. We'll take a look at this guy. It's like an older Carrier ICP variant. I'd say probably 10, 15 years old. Probably more 15. We'll take a look and see what's inside. Alright, after we remove that screw, whole front panel comes off. And we have our burner compartment. And we have a sealed off blower cabinet. If you'll notice, first thing we want to look for in most modern equipment is a nice little window. And if we look in here, we'll see a little red light. We just count the blinks. So 1 fast blink, 4 slow blinks. So many of them are nice enough to give us this little service information, or the status for the LED code, and we see 14, 1 fast, 4 slow, is an ignition lockout. So the first thing I want to do is, there is no disconnect on the unit, but luckily we have a line of sight breaker box here. So we want to kill power to the unit. We'll take a look. Basement furnace number 10. So we'll just kill power. And we'll look back over here and confirm red light is off. So now we'll restore power. Let it go through its boot up process. And we just want to watch the ignition sequence. So right now you're hearing the blower come on. Many of these units, Carrier / ICP, in this particular case, they will go into what they call a pre-purge mode, which essentially just runs the blower for how many ever seconds, 30 seconds, 90 seconds, and that's just its power loss to power start back up procedure. So don't be alarmed when you just turn the power on, it immediately turns on. So we'll give it a few seconds. But upon looking at that igniter, that is not the original igniter. It looks like a current nitride igniter. This furnace would have had a carbide igniter that looks kind of like a weird little horseshoe design, so that's been changed. So what I wonder is if we're getting enough gas through the crossover, so when these burners turn on, gas jets down these individual holes, and there's a little ribbon that when this lights up you can somewhat see. And it's a crossover, because they don't want necessarily anything impinging the flame going straight into the burner, so they have the igniter a little over to the side. But if you see that little ribbon in between, theoretically gas is supposed to go through these channels and work down that side channel and light across. But I have seen on these older furnaces sometimes there'll be a little corrosion in that ribbon that keeps the gas from making it actually lighting. Because I am actually smelling gas now as this thing is going, so we know our valve is putting something through. So let's disassemble this and take a look at it. Alrighty. This particular burner set just kind of slides out. Apologize, I'm trying to hold my camera and do this at the same time. So there's the crossover I was talking about. I also wonder if that igniter is not close enough as well. So what we'll do, it looks pretty clean, there's a little corrosion, is I'm going to take a brush, and it's going to be hard for me to do with holding my phone at the same time, but I'm going to scrape that out a little bit with a brush just to make sure we're getting some good flow. We're going to look at that there. We're going to look at these jets just to make sure they're not clogged up. I don't see anything, but I'll clean these burners and adjust to that igniter a little bit, and we'll see what happens. Upon further inspection, that is our igniter. This little nitride igniter, and I've bent that back a little bit because the original, the horseshoe type that's been changed out at some point, would have been a lot closer to the ribbon right there I was talking about, and it appears this one was pushed off probably about ½ an inch or more, so I believe it just wasn't getting the gas to hit it. So we've bent it back a little bit, so we should have clean ignition. We should have enough fuel hitting that igniter to actually ignite. Nice and pretty in blue. And after it heats up for, depending on the furnace again, usually 30 to 90 seconds, the blower will come back on. But it's always good to watch these flames. You hear the blower come on right now. This is the new one, making the flames flicker. But the blower comes on and the air is still. You do not want to see over flames tipping or the flames drifting to one side or the other. That will kind of tell us we have a possible heat exchanger failure. Alright, so that is the blower. I don't know if this is anything concerning other than me moving around down here. You will have a little sparks come through. That's just as the burners clean themselves. So we must debris inside. Through, so we'll see that, especially if you tap it all the way by weight, you'll see that. That's normal, so we should be perfectly fine. That is something to bear in mind. I can't stress that enough. A lot of this, as you saw on that particular one, that thing was what, 23 years old at this point. So they have been worked on. Yeah, there's nice little wiring diagrams, but over the years, parts get superseded, general replacements get added. You know, you never know what you're going to find. But as I said, that one, it would have been nice if the customer had said, hey, we had another company over and they just did X. I could have immediately went and looked at that, but you know, a lot of times they're not going to do that because they don't want you to think they're using somebody else or going around. But I mean, everybody shops around. It's completely understandable. But something like that, it, you know, would have been nice for them to call the original contractor, because, you know, simple mistake, easy to fix. But as I say, you never know what you'll find.